The S&P 500 totally tanked in the last hour because, surprise, surprise, the trade war with China flared up again. Trump hopped on Truth Social and started talking about cutting off trade with China over cooking oil. Yeah, cooking oil. He basically said the United States could make its own and doesn't need China. And that one random post was enough to send the market sliding. The whole situation is honestly embarrassing because the trade deal with China is already barely hanging on. China had just started buying United States soybeans again and restarted rare earth shipments we desperately need. And instead of holding on to that tiny bit of stability, Trump launches another fight over something that barely moves the needle. Even Republicans are getting sick of these tariff whiplashes because voters are feeling it at the checkout line and party leaders know people are losing patience. And trust me, this cooking oil thing sounds small, but it exposes a much bigger problem. The United States depends heavily on foreign supply chains for basic stuff. And the second Trump threatens even one product, the fear spreads fast through markets. Traders tighten up, farmers panic, industries start recalculating everything because one reckless post can shake the whole system. Now, yeah, China did come back for United States soybeans recently, with Reuters saying several vessels loaded up and nearly 2 million metric tons were booked, but let's not pretend that's some big comeback. Just a month earlier, China bought 0 United States soybeans while buying record amounts from Brazil. Even analysts say China might buy 12 million metric tons this season when the old average was around 28 million. That's a tactical buy, not a long-term commitment. They want quick volume, not loyalty. And then there's the used cooking oil situation. China exported a record 2.9 million metric tons in 2024, and the United States bought almost half of it because of biofuel mandates. So when Trump threatens to cut off cooking oil, he's not talking dinner gossip. He's threatening feedstock costs, biodiesel margins, clean fuel compliance, and a whole chain of recyclers whose business collapses if supply dips even a little. And here's the kicker. China selling cooking oil to the United States is worth about 1.2 billion, but China buying United States soybeans is worth around 12 billion. So Trump is basically saying, let's lose 12 billion to punish China with a 1.2 billion jab. That's literally a 10-to-1 loss ratio. And the people who get crushed are United States farmers, many of whom vote Republican. Politically, that makes 0 sense. But the real danger isn't soybeans or oil, it's rare earths. China controls around 70% of mining, nearly 90% of refining, and over 90% of permanent magnet production. Those magnets go into EVs, missiles, wind turbines, basically everything modern. If China tightens exports again, United States assembly lines freeze instantly. That's why the real story isn't cooking oil, it's that the United States has almost no leverage. Meanwhile, Republicans themselves are getting uneasy. New polling shows even Trump voters admit tariffs are jacking up prices, and businesses warn they have no choice but to pass costs to consumers. Democrats are ready to weaponize this in upcoming elections, and internal pressure is building. Canada is pushing hard to extend the USMCA for 16 more years to stabilize the region, and even China is complaining about new United States trade clauses in deals with Malaysia and Cambodia.